Listen. Nowadays, it seems more horror movies come out at the beginning of the year than they do around Halloween, and now they're even spawning sequels. We had a video on the first one way back, but I think Brahms himself flagged it or sent the studios to go claim it. But thankfully, we have a sponsor for this LME horror recap, and it might actually be scarier than Brahm. Obviously, if you've been on YouTube.com, you've heard of the indie game known as
Raid: Shadow Legends.
And while I thought we were going to get hit with the word epic 20 times in this promo, they were actually pretty chill.
Do you want cartoon characters? Sorry, wrong game.
I set up an account under player 42865672 since, that was obviously my grandma's favorite number, and I downloaded this RPG which boasts about the graphics. It has a campaign mode with a better storyline than Brahms the Boy. They got a clan boss mode in case you wanted to play with your online friends and fight a bunch of bosses. And if you don't have friends, you can still play with yourself. It's on mobile for you to play on the couch and desktop for on the go. But honestly, if you ever find yourself watching a crappy movie, this will help you not die of boredom. But you still might die though. It's an easy to play game as long as you have fingers, and I promise you that once you master your first match, it's like you mastered the entire game. And if you don't have fingers, game even plays itself. They've already got a one-up on Star Wars by actually planning at least 5 months ahead with what they're gonna do. So for any new players who click the link down below, you're gonna get 100k in silver and 1 free champion Hexweaver if you click on your little inbox within the first 30 days. But in all honesty, these non-movie sponsorships really do help us to keep covering these movie franchises for you guys. And as always, we try to hook you guys up with a copy of the first whenever we do these integrations as a first come first serve basis. So if you'd like, click the link down below to download the app and help support this channel for free, cause I already know Brahms is gonna send STX Films to stock us. Let me explain. So the first The Boy came from director William Brent Bell, who had previously directed the Frankie Muniz video game slasher Stay Alive, but what really put him on the map was a little found footage movie that's considered one of the worst movies of all time. The Devil Inside was a found footage documentary style fiction about a girl pulling exorcisms to see why her mom's exorcism went wrong years ago, and it became the 18th film on CinemaScore to receive an F+. Because the movie didn't even have an ending. The characters crash, and then the screen cut to a link that just told the audience to go visit a website to go get the rest of the story. Can you imagine if a video just ended like that? That would be crazy. And not only was it a crappy site, they're not even running it anymore, and the movie came out in 2012. The thing about this universally hated movie was that it ended up making $100 million at the box office, with a budget of $1 million. This thing somehow topped the box office in the top 5, but it was top 2, and it wasn't 2, beating Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol. And then people heard how bad it was, and it just disappeared off the charts. It didn't even sync out. This thing just vanished faster than its ending. He would eventually follow this up with another movie called Where, about a defense attorney who realizes too late that her client is in fact a werewolf. And then we got The Boy.
And then of course, it leads to something that's a great twist, which was just a bonus. So all those things, trying to make like what I told the crew when we started making the film was I wanted to make a classic. We didn't just want to make a scary movie. We wanted to make something that was going to last forever.
Now, I'll be honest, there is a decent skeleton of a story hiding within the walls of this movie. Literally. The problem is that when you pitch to the audience that this is a creepy doll movie, and you set them up to believe that the doll is responsible, and then tell them, psych, people are going to be more upset with you than a band saying the wrong city before a show.
What's up, Peppermint 2?
Now, while I don't mind the twist, what I did mind was that it didn't make any sense. For those who don't know, or chose to not remember, the first follows Greta, who's hired as a nanny for this elderly couple until she realizes it's just a doll. It's got that same vibe Shyamalan's Servant has over on Apple, but the big twist here is that the elderly couple's kid is still alive. He's just living inside the walls. That's why he has this list of rules to keep rats out or keep his food clean. It's really just to keep him alive inside. It's Brahms, who 20 years ago as a kid mutilated a little girl in the woods, burnt his house down to fake his death before they could even investigate what happened, and then began living within the walls of this house, forcing his parents to hire him nannies that would eventually turn into his mate until his parents chose to opt out. Greta just so happens to be the new nanny who was just trying to get away from her abusive boyfriend after he caused her miscarriage, and now she's dealing with... Now, the idea of Brahms living in the walls, waiting for a mate, by spooking them as they took care of your American Boy doll, it ain't that bad of a movie twist, But the reason it doesn't work is because your setup is garbo. You can't have the entire buildup of your horror be reliant on a supernatural doll. Like, none of this could happen unless it was possessed. But then you have the twist be that it's just a dude living in his mama's basement. Walls. It makes scenes like this seem even goofier than they already are, because there's no way real life Brahms can relay 5 meters like that. Like, look at this. My girl's peripherals were obstructed for like 2 seconds minimum, and you expect me to believe that he took the time to prop him up like Woody? Usually January horrors, they have very terrible twists, but the twist here was that they couldn't make up their minds with what they wanted. I think Lauren Cohan does a great job in this, as someone who's confused by everything around her because, it doesn't make sense. Since it didn't. In the end, Greta is able to run away and survives. Bram repairs the doll since he somehow survives. And the movie makes enough money to greenlight a sequel as it survives itself.
Brahms, the Boy 2.
And Greta and Brahms are now gone. Now, I don't know if they were going for the Damien Omen 2 homage with the title, with the way that they decided to phrase it, or if they phrased it like that because they were playing the SEO game. But you know what? I wouldn't be surprised if this is all just to, franchise the Boy series. If you saw the first one, they took a page from the Thrones team with the way that they did all that setup to go another way with the way they executed the finale. But for the sequel, they went full Star Wars and just ignored anything that they had in the previous ones. Pretty much now they want to give audiences the creepy supernatural doll movie by retconning the stuff from the first one, and this is all coming from the same director.
It leads to something that's a great twist, which was just a bonus. Classic.
See, in this one, we follow a family who moves out to the countryside after Katie's home invasion. That incident caused the parents, the boy, to go mute, and it isn't until they reach this manor, this pool house, because that's where they're staying, that he meets Brahms, the boy. And while the parents get ecstatic that their boy finally puts down his Blue's Clues talking pad, they then start to notice strange things.
In the first movie, he had a skin made out of porcelain. And in this one, he has this silicone skin, and it feels like human skin. Like, that's so creepy. It was just made for that. And it's kind of like he got an upgrade, and he had these human-like eyes. And all of a sudden, I feel like this weird thing slowly touched my neck. And I got so freaked out. The lights turned back on. The scene's over. Brahms had never moved.
Pretty much in this one, forget the fact that Brahms and Greta were ever really here. Yes, Brahms was the name of the kid, before the parents ever even got the doll. But now it turns out that no, the doll was actually named Brahms this entire time, and it's been tormenting people for generations. All this info Katie Holmes found on Google.com was available in the first one, but I guess Greta's data plan must have been out. Joseph, the groundskeeper, who Greta would have also met, turns out to be the guy who actually put the doll back together, even though I swore the guy in the ending to the first was literally wearing Brahms' sweat. These damn Acuvio aces, I can't see. Above it all, I think the funniest part is that in the first one, the doll never flinched, not once. Now it's making moves. But let's be honest, this type of retconning is key in regards to re-gearing for franchise mode. Hell, some franchises haven't even bothered to fix their logic, but with this, you got a name flip that now gives you brand recognition. We can do prequels with Brahms now. Hell, we can go to another part and it doesn't even have to be Brahms, it could be somebody else's The Boy. But I'm just laughing because we're still at the early stages of this series, where the tropes are just beginning. We all know that every Star Wars movie usually tends to say, I have a bad feeling about this. So by the time we hit Brahms the Man by 2033, we'll have an entire compilation of actresses trying to shush a doll. I really don't mind you branching out your story so you can make more of these, but be consistent. Obviously, Brahms the Boy's whole plan is to take over Katie's the Boy's whole body, and you would not believe me when I tell you that they obliterate this doll. Just like the first one, they smash it to pieces, and you can clearly see there's nothing inside of it. Not even Mike Wazowski can put this porcelain thing back together. And then this doll gets up looking like there is actual flesh in the doll. After seeing it completely smashed, this thing appears like a lollipop you dropped under the couch of a laundromat. Pretty much, Brahms' power is to break any logic that's been established in previous movies, at the beginning of the movie, literal frames that were just shown to you, and they pull a very original ending that I personally have not seen in any of the horror movies as of late, involving the main characters defeating the bad entity, and they go to a new location, have a happily ever after. Oh no, entity's still there, jump scare, credits. I'm starting to find more excitement going on 290, wondering if there might be traffic or not instead of watching these films. But I'll say this, Ralph Ineson, who plays the groundskeeper in this, he's probably the best actor in the movie, along with the dogs. But like, if you've seen The Vivitch, you know man's great with his animal co-stars. I personally think it's going to take more than him to correct this series, though. I know everyone wants that never-ending franchise. They all want the 007 that, you know, might get postponed, but will never die. And horror, more than any other franchise with a star, can have an icon. They have icons that get to live on forever. So it's just ironic that for a doll whose biggest gimmick is having rules, that his movies don't follow any. Thank you guys for checking out this video. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comments section. I don't know about you guys, but when it comes to horror movies or horror doll movies, Brahms is nowhere near Slappy. Annabelle. Hell, I'll throw the Poltergeist clown there. Chucky's got like 2 series going on right now, so yeah, I'm not. Brahms has a long way to go, so I'll say that. But they definitely got to keep a consistency with it. Like, I know everyone is trying to do a sort of franchise, and with horror movies, I mean, what horror movie have we not seen that doesn't end with a "can we possibly get a sequel" type thing? But I mean, I don't know what's happening here. I guess it kind of answers the problems that were in the first, but it just creates a bigger problem of you trying to eat your cake and eat it too. I'm curious to know your thoughts down below in the comment section. Let me know which one you liked a little bit more. I do like the skeleton of the first one. I don't know what the hell they were doing with the second one, but I'm curious to know your thoughts. Again, shout out to Raid. I guess we have finally got the YouTuber stamp of approval getting that email, but it really does help out the channel, so we appreciate that. Thank you guys for watching this video. Let us know any other LME franchise recaps you guys want to see. Don't forget to comment, like, and